Hello, everybody, and welcome to Toffee Bluecast. Match reaction to Everton versus Fulham in the EFL Cup. We are out. I have got Paul that's coming in with me. He'll be in a couple of seconds. He's just putting a few pieces together so we can go through the game, have a look at the game, and see if we can actually digest this and take it in and find a way to move forward. A lot of Everton fans, I went on a space last night, really frustrated. I was frustrated. I'm still frustrated today, but fume after last night. So if you're on Twitter now and you're seeing this, I've got Paul coming on with me. Hit the link, come over to YouTube, and we can actually see what your comments, and you can tell us what you think, and we can see where you're at, and we can take this together because one of the main reasons I've done Toffee Bluecast is to bring Everton fans together, and I think this is a time where we need to come together as Everton fans now because there's a lot of negativity, frustration, anger. We've still got a big challenge ahead of us, so don't think it's going to do us any good to take that into the Premier League. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through the game. I know it's not nice. I didn't want to do it tonight. I didn't want to come on. I was saying to Paul, I was saying, should we dodge this? But we can't because we're a channel that does before the game and after the game, and we have to kind of face up to what's happened after the game. So Paul will be coming on, and we will look at the game. We'll try and go through it quick, and we'll digest it, say what we think, let it out. Don't care what you say, just let it out. Even if it's a bad thing to say, just let it out. And we'll try and let it all out and then move on from it. If you are new to the channel, hit that like and subscribe button. We want more toffs in the comments. So if you hit the subscribe, all it does, like the spaces, is it tells you when we're going live. So it'll just say they're going live. And we want more subscribers so we can get more Everton fans on. So we've got more on when we go live. Let's have a look at the comments now. Here we go. Eugene, remember to smash that like button. Promoting it already. Love it. MRFC, interested to see what you're going to say here. I know you can be an angry one as well. So let's we'll go through it in a minute. Paul will enter the building in a minute. Caswell, he did tell me that we need to do something tonight, like, because fans just need some unity because there's a lot of negativity going around. It's crazy. I'm trying to hold a lot of stuff in until Paul comes on because I haven't spoken to him much about the game. And when he comes on, we're going to say what we think. I'll give you a couple of shout outs. So drop your comments. Let's see who's in. Let's try and get a lot in before we go live. Jack edits football. Yo, guys. How you doing, Jack? You all right? We do interact with the comments. That's what we do. We literally, you put your stuff in the comments, we'll interact. We host it, but we generally like a lot of activity in the comments so we can hear from you and read out what you say and say what we think on what you've said. And so we want your comments. Keep them coming in. There's plenty coming on now. 17 going up. Let's get it up. And we'll give you shout outs. Get the Everton fans in the ass. We need some rehab tonight. You need me. You really do. And I need you. We need some rehab tonight. Evening all. Darren Aspel, how are you doing? You all right? The Blues. See, there's loads of Everton fans in this. This channel's working together. It's working because it's bringing Everton fans together. To the Blues there, look. What's up, folks? In the house. I think Pickford is a bit underrated. We've got a lot of stuff to look into. We're going to look into so many different parts of this game. Paul's literally putting bits together now last minute, but we've got to look at the way we played. We've got to look at the formation, and we've got to look at the penalties as well. And there's a lot of people that can be talked about tonight. For me personally, I think the manager should get talked about. Not as in I want Dyche out or anything, but I just feel like Dyche has smashed it 4 games and he got it a little bit wrong this one, in my opinion. And some will say it's because of his options, but I do not like that formation. Players. Yeah, I'm just reading those comments now. The players are going to get looked at as well. There's a lot of criticism on Onana. We'll talk about that as well. There's so much to talk about. When Paul gets in the building, we will talk about it. Eugene there. Sean Dyche is doing his Everton press conference for the Toffee versus a game tomorrow afternoon at 3:30. I will be on that, Eugene. And Eugene, I have got a Tottenham fan that is probably lined up to come on the channel as well. So we will have an opposition fan again. What we do is we get an opposition fan on. You all like it. You all ask for it. So that's what we do. We get an opposition fan on. I don't believe it was the Blues. The formation was what we played all season. It was a 3, wasn't it? It might have been a 4 and a 3. It might have been mixed, but I don't like that. I really do not like it because when they push up, it was Tarkowski, Branthwaite, and Keane when they're high up. When Branthwaite, it just didn't work for me. We'll go through the formation. I don't like to see Keane, Tarkowski, and Branthwaite play together. I just don't like to see that. I didn't think it worked amazing in the Burnley game, and I thought it would cost us. So the Blues, you're saying what we went for is we went for a 4-4-1-1. So you're thinking that we went Branthwaite, Tarkowski, Keane, and Patterson. We did play. Maybe that was the formation, but do you like that? Did we really need to do that? Why couldn't we, for example, the Blues, why couldn't we have played Patterson, Tarkowski, Branthwaite, which we know works? Don't move Branthwaite's position, even though he played well in that position, and play Godfrey left back. I would have much preferred that, in my opinion, or even pulled McNeil left back and played Tarkowski, Branthwaite, and Patterson. Because for some reason it didn't work for me. It looked very vulnerable. I don't know what you think. It looked very, very vulnerable. Get the comments on. Tom Pepper. Their goal was lucky though. I blame Onana. The goal was an own goal from Michael Keane, wasn't it? A lot of people, the commentators, interesting on the goal, which we will talk about. The goal, the commentators said it was an own goal by Patterson, but then I watched it back and I think it was an own goal by Keane. And then on another thing, when I watched it, they were saying it was a goal by Iwobi, which it wasn't. I think they all just wanted Iwobi to score. The Blues talking about formations there. I think Everton will be back to winning ways. We will try and end the stream like this, don't worry. We have got to go through the game. We will try and end it like that. Patterson was slow a few times. I did see that. A one-on-one run with Patterson, and he got left on the spot. He literally got left on the spot at the very start of the game, and Patterson's got a lot of speed. So I was surprised on that. I think it was a good game, but we just didn't get the goals. I don't think it was. Jack, I really don't think it was. I don't think it was a good game. I think it was a bottle first half where we bottled it. We didn't start the first half that well. Branthwaite didn't take his chance, and we had a lot of the ball, but the ball wasn't looking like we had intention to score for me. So I don't think it was a good game. Everton didn't turn up that cup game. They really did not turn up that cup game. We won 4 games in a row before this, and that's probably 50% to what we've been in those 4 games that we've won. I thought really wasn't up to it in this cup game. I thought Calvert-Lewin was shattered. Well, Harrison, you could tell he's played every game on the wing and not had a rest. I thought McNeil as well. You could tell that he's trying to get back and help Branthwaite, and it's not a click. I don't think it was the best Everton. I really don't. The Blues, I'm getting onto your comments now. At least we're getting a good interaction before Paul comes on. He's here. Paul is in the building. Disagree totally, mate. I don't remember Pickford making a single save. There are convos going on already in the house. Right. Paul is here now. We will get started. Covered you a little bit. Do you think Beto should be getting a start over Dom? That is something we'll definitely talk about because that's something I would say myself. And Paul's on and we'll talk about it now. Let me just get this right now. The screen.
Evening, everybody.
Get in the house. Get in the house, mate.
Glad I can make it.
Some counselling. Give me some counselling.
I know. I'm dying on my arse as well. It's last day of school today.
I
As a
think you got
teacher,
all the
not a
Christmas
pupil,
stuff
just in
today, yeah.
case.
That
So
Everton
that's the
performance and
time.
then
That's the
last day.
time teachers get ill straight away as soon as school finishes. That's it, lurgy and everything. So thanks for putting up with Dan for the first 10 minutes.
Yeah, I was just getting interacting with the comments, probably chatting crap, but that's what you do when you by yourself sometimes. But I ain't by myself because I've got loads of people in the comments. Luckily, there's loads on already, and we need to get
Yeah,
more on. Hit that like and subscribe button because we need to get more Everton fans in the comments. I want it full of different opinions in the comments. I want to know what every Everton fan thinks. And we've got a good bunch of regulars. We get about 20, 30 on all the time, but we do want to get about 50, 60 toffees on all the time in the comments at least, because then we can literally go through them and see what we think. The more we get, the better. Right, Paul. I said to you,
should we delve
you
in?
didn't want to do. Yeah, let's get straight stuck in. Paul's done it tonight. He's put the stuff together. Bless him.
Okay, here we go.
Just show me the game again.
There was a lot really to go through. I'm not going to show. Okay, can you imagine that? That's just torture. But it started off well. You know what I mean? We seemed the stronger. Do you want to talk? I presume you've talked about the lineup or the selection.
I wasn't happy with it, Paul. I wasn't happy with the
Did
lineup
you?
at all. I
Did
know
you?
the Blues is probably saying it's all he can do,
No,
but
I wasn't.
it's
No, I
just for
wasn't, to be
me.
honest.
The problem is you're killing too many players just by having one player missing. That's the thing. Like, I don't get why he wouldn't just leave players in their better position. Why kill Branthwaite centre back? Why? I think the wingers don't play as well when you haven't got. I don't know. I wasn't happy with that. I wasn't happy with the team. What before we go into this, Paul? What would you want to have seen different when you seen that team? What did you expect?
Branthwaite in for Keane, Godfrey on the left hand side. I mean, the thing I'd sort of caught a sound of you saying about what the formation was. I'd messaged to you and some of the lads. I'd said it might, with him having Branthwaite and Keane and Tarks in there as well. I was thinking, oh right, okay, so it's either going to be a 3, like a 3-5-1-1, or it's going to be a sort of adaptable back 4 where McNeil would be a left back, followed by Branthwaite and then Tarkowski and Keane on one when it was on one side of the pitch, and then the team could shift over, and then it would be Patterson right back, Keane, Tarkowski, and Branthwaite with McNeil pushing up. So very much the way, in some ways, that we played against Burnley, but it didn't actually turn out like that. Branthwaite was just an out and out left back, and I just thought it was trying to fit. It was the wrong fit. It was the wrong fit. Not Branthwaite. Branthwaite played all right, you know, but there were some elements of that affected the way we sort of played in some respects, and I'll point out one or two bits. I'm not having a massive go at anyone. I'm not having a go at Keane. I thought generally defensively we played all right. We just lacked a little bit going forward, and passing was shocking on the day. It really was. So yeah, here we go. I mean, this is a good example because this is early doors. You create a chance where it's actually been fed through. I think it was Garner who might have fed it through, and Branthwaite's done an overlap, and then he gets to the byline, and he misses everyone out. But we've got people in the box, so there's a shout for, oh yeah, Branthwaite should have played left back because he would play well. I'm not denying that at all. I think Branthwaite played well. I thought he did his job perfectly fine. I just think his strength was in the middle of defence, and I just thought that's where it needed to be. It needed to be used instead of trying to shoehorn Keane back in, because there's obviously a message, isn't there, that if you have a really storming game, then you've got a really good chance of being in the next lineup. And Keane, he got man of the match, didn't he, against Burnley? So Dyche is a little bit.
I said this to you, lot, Paul. I did say to you lot, like, is this a way for Keane to come back in? Does Keane get picked over Branthwaite? I know that's stupid to say, but it scared me. I did say to you, when Keane scored that goal and got man of the match in a game that was just an easy game, I wouldn't have got overexcited about Keane in that game because I thought Burnley was poor. I knew it was going to be a way for Keane to worm his way back in. And I don't think Keane was majorly bad this game, but I do think when we play two slow centre-backs, when Branthwaite pushes up in this left-back position that you've just shown now, and you've just left yourself Keane and Tarkowski, it just completely exposes them with speed and stuff like that, and it just feels so slow. I feel a lot more comfortable when I've got Branthwaite at the side of Tarkowski because I know I've got someone solid and I've got someone fast, a sweeper, and someone that's really strong with the tackles and the headers. But it just leaves Keane and Tarkowski centre back what we played, and I don't like that. I just don't. I think if you play Keane, Tarkowski, and Godfrey as a free, you can just get away with it. But when we push up and you've just got Keane and Tarkowski centre back, I feel exposed.
Yeah,
go on.
I know. There's arguments all over the place. I understand what Blues is saying. You know, he's saying that he won't pick Godfrey because he's not got a left foot.
Couldn't McNeil play left back and Danjuma play left wing?
Yeah,
why Mikolenko's out. He's played there before, hasn't he? And he did a good job.
It was a possibility. It was a possibility, and so was the three. To be honest, the three wouldn't have been much different if you've got McNeil and Patterson as wing backs. So there's arguments for all. He's saying obviously that we're overthinking it. Branthwaite is left-footed, and he did a good job. We're not obviously saying Branthwaite did anything wrong, not at all. Again, we were down the left. This is a situation where it's been lofted up to DCL, comes back to Garner. Garner's outside of the right foot, curled it in for DCL. You watched McNeil running in. So it's a decent start and we're quite optimistic. That's where McNeil has his shot. It goes over the bar. A couple of arguments. Onana's there with his hands out. But in that situation, it wasn't too bad to have a shot, to be fair. It could easily have gone in if he got the strike, and he's put off by the defender. But it's just showing that we've got chances in that first half, or half chances, that didn't sort of go for us, really. Here's another one as well. We get it on the right-hand side. This is after a bit of a scuffle in the area. Harrison's got it there, comes back inside. You see Branthwaite on the far left running in, and he's stretching. By the time he gets over there, defenders come across and he has to stoop sort of halfway down to even get the header. Gets it on target, but Leno just snatches it up easily. So again, we're getting forward.
That was, do you know if you can you go back on that just to the At this point, I'm thinking to myself, we haven't got our best team. We're not passing it that well, but we can just somehow get the win just by getting crosses in and stuff like that. And they didn't close down. Like, Fulham was really poor here, I thought, because when I'm watching this, I'm thinking Branthwaite is so free that someone's going to go to him, and they still didn't go to him that fast. And the chance, like, they kind of just let us do whatever we wanted. Fulham did in this first half. The chance that you put on the screen, you put 3 good chances there.
Yeah,
we've got to be I said when you get these chances, you've got to take them. And this is what frustrated me, Paul, is I think with the Branthwaite chance here and the McNeil chance where he could have passed it to Onana, but he normally scores from where he shoots anyway, so I don't blame him from shooting. In a cup game, to deserve to win the cup, you've got to score in these times, haven't you, Paul? You think so? We should have got a goal from what you've just shown.
That's our thing, though, isn't it? When it's not going right, it's because we haven't taken chances earlier on. You know, I think certainly some of our memorable defeats this season have been because we haven't taken the chances before the other teams had a chance themselves. So again, these are half chances, though. I know Blue said he could have volleyed it. It would have been.
I thought he could have volleyed it though. I think because I honestly think it was more volley height than what it was. I think if that was Miko, he smashed it top corner.
Possibly.
That's not because Branthwaite played good in this position. Like, he was
He did.
powerful, and they couldn't handle him down the left.
No.
Like, every ball Branthwaite was 1-on-1. He was going to overpower him, but you could tell like he's someone that's eyes lit up too much when he's played this position. He's not used to getting to attack this much, and I honestly think when he gets that chance ball there, I think he was just a bit too excited, wasn't he? Because it's something he'd normally score, but because
potentially, yeah, defenders are like that.
Get excited.
I know that for a fact.
He's due a goal. I thought he'd scored this. I was gutted. I thought McNeil had scored the one that you showed just before this, because McNeil normally hits it in from there. He don't normally get it over the bar. He normally keeps it down, at least gets it on target. And I did think Branthwaite 100% scores from this position, because we know he's good in the air, and he's not been free in the air since he's come back from loan. And this was his good chance to score, I thought. We've seen him score these goals for PSV all the time, because we was tweeting it all the time. He scored another PSV. He scored another PSV. I really did think he was going to score that ball, that one. Carry on.
Well, no, things. No,
match of the day. I love it in the comments.
I know. Thanks, Eugene. That's more than that's more than generous.
That's made it worth it.
This is their goal, so this is where it comes from. We're not doing too much wrong here. It's come in, and he's just.
This is what I'm talking about, Paul. This is what I'm talking about. I'm glad you put this on the screen, because I watched it back, and this is why I don't like not playing Branthwaite there, because I feel more scared there. When you've got Tarkowski and Keane sitting there and they receive the ball in that position, Iwobi running onto it, I am scared when Iwobi and that player is running at Keane and Tarkowski. If that was Branthwaite and Tarkowski, I wouldn't be scared in that situation. I think Branthwaite often runs them away, and then players are allowed to get back. I think Branthwaite's a lot better in that sort of position than what Keane and Tarkowski are, and I feel like that's just how I feel on that. Go on.
I mean, it goes from that position where it's just a one touch. The Fulham guys turned to his right hand side, moved it off into space, and then that's where we are. I mean, it's not the worst setup in the world from that position, because you've got your back four. Branthwaite as left back is covering your man at the far post. You've got Garner Gay just inside Patterson, so we've got two on that right hand side. It's nothing, we're not out of touch there. It's just that when they do the crossover, we get into this position again. Look how many people we've got back. It always seems to be, and if you're being ultra picky, and this is generally what Dyche might be behind doors, is that it's just body position. A lot of it's just body position. You could say about Patterson blocking the cross. You could say Keane's actually still facing his own goal. He not got back quick enough to have his body position with his back to goal. He's actually, his chest is sort of facing sort of half towards the Paddy Street and half towards the ball. And when it does come across, this is where it's just come off his right arm, and just frustrating. I did wonder about Pickford at one. I did wonder about Pickford there. Did he anticipate that he was going to get the ball coming across? I'm not sure it would have actually got there. So I think it would have got a Iwobi before that. But it's just frustrating, isn't it? Because again, it's one of those. We've had a few chances, half chances, and then Fulham really with their first attack. I mean, they only had one shot on goal in the first half. Neither side.
This was said
massive XG as you go, but they didn't have a lot of chances in that first half, and then they get the luck with the own goal.
This was said at the start, Paul. And did you see the moment? Like, there was a moment where there was a one-on-one sprint, and Patterson looked like he was stuck in the mud. And I thought Patterson was really fast, but there was a one-on-one sprint that he had with a player at the start, and he got completely left. All the way, couldn't catch him up all the way down his side, Patterson. And straight away I thought, oh my God, you've got done. That's not a good start when someone gets completely smashed at the start. Patterson, I think he was a bit sluggish. Are you disappointed with, and this isn't putting players down, because Patterson's had good performances, he's come back, and are you disappointed with his performance this game? Because Patterson's getting given a chance now. He's been on the bench, and we've all been saying he should be played.
No,
Do you
no.
think he should be stopping that cross?
I thought he played decent. There's obviously going to be
Yeah.
a few times for everyone in any game where it's he might have done something slightly better, but generally, I thought we defended well as a unit. I thought we defended well, but it was the passing. It just wasn't quick enough. It wasn't decisive enough, and I think that comes a little bit from the personnel, if you like. So he just gets done for pace. Yeah, I understand
Yeah,
that.
maybe I've watched Mikalenko actually frigging stay with the players here, and I'm putting Patterson up to Mikalenko's standard because I've seen Mikalenko stop those crosses from coming in, and that's why I think Mikalenko were all excited by him and miss him because he does normally stop them. I get what you're saying though. When a player's running at you at the speed of Robinson, he is a very fast player. It's easy when you slow things down. I just hate these crosses coming in the box because you know we're in trouble. You just said though, Paul, interesting what you said. I think Pickford's come out he thinks it's going to come across the box and he's come out to punch it. And he's come out to punch it and Keane's hit it with his legendary arm and knocked it in his goal.
Wasn't sticking out though. He wasn't sticking out.
No, I feel sorry for Keane because I don't think he had a bad game. But I do think he's cursed. You know what I mean? And I feel sorry for him. I'm sure he don't want to be cursed, but that man is cursed. And I don't think he had a bad game. I can't really knock his performance because he won every head. He was strong. He passed the ball well, and he took a good penalty. But he is cursed, isn't he? I mean, that could come off you and not go in that goal 100 times if we did it. But Keane manages to get it in the back of the net with the deflection. And they said it was Patterson in the commentary, but it wasn't Patterson. And they said Iwobi scored in the commentary, and it wasn't Iwobi. Of course, it was Michael Keane.
Wow.
Ugh.
Yeah, he's a magnet for calamity.
Goodison is
at the moment. He's a magnet for calamity.
I know. We need the new stadium now.
This is another chance we had. Garner, we got a free kick. It's actually Branthwaite again who gets to the edge of the area, who gets fouled, and Garner takes the free kick. Curling inwards, you couldn't ask for anything more from Garner. And Tarkowski's got himself in a great position. We're talking inches, where he's just not quite there to get the ball, just goes wide. It's a shame because I thought we looked strong on every set piece that we had. We just couldn't make them count. It was a bit of a shame. Second half, Harrison, there was a lovely bit of play actually on our right-hand side between Harrison and Arna and Patterson as well. Just triangles. Harrison comes inside, has a good old strike with his left foot, just goes wide of the post. But then we eventually. Do you think that was a sitter?
The Blue said that's a sitter. Do you think that was a sitter, that Harrison chance that you've just shown? Is the Blues saying that was a sitter?
Blues might be saying the one about Tarkowski. I presume
anyway. Yeah, I was going to say Harrison's I don't think was. No. It is for Harrison to be when Harrison scored that half a volley straight away when he first come. That probably is I'd expect him to hit the target on that, but he wasn't far away, was he? We'll let him off. He's on about the Tarkowski one that you just said, isn't he?
Yeah, and there was at least we're having shots outside the.
There you go.
Outside the box as well. Yeah, I thought it might be.
Yeah, on me.
So Harrison has a dig as well, and then what are we on the? How many minutes? 82 minutes. 1-1. I think I did put on that group chat. Beto is our king. It was a good little move down the left hand side as well. Danjuma ends up getting the ball, blasting it across. Then all hell breaks loose. You got James Garner having the shot, and then it comes off Robertson, who's there in the centre, and there's your man stooping, absolutely stooping.
Really good goal. Under pressure as well.
Relief.
Really good goal.
It was relief more than anything, but I thought it was something that we deserved. And look, we weren't that second half. I'm going
to have a little moan here, though, Paul. I'm going to have a little moan. I'm going to get it off my chest. Have your moans in the comments if you want.
Yeah.
I think these subs should. I tweeted at half time, Beto and Danjuma need to come on. And I said in the group, didn't I? It's a game that Danjuma I think would be good. I did say that, and I said Beto needs to come on because at the end of the day, Calvert-Lewin just wasn't having a good game. It happens in football. He wasn't holding the ball up that well. Nothing was going for him. the ball was coming straight back at us all the time. And Calvert-Lewin just wasn't himself. So I think the moment Dyche sees that, he's got to react because this is a cup game and you don't get time back. It's do or die in a cup game. So I would have liked to have seen at half time, I would have said, Calvert-Lewin, you're just not on it, mate. But don't worry, we've got a striker that can come in. And I think also, I think Harrison was burnt out. Dyche keeps playing McNeil and Harrison on the wings and he's making them work their asses off every game. Eventually, some games, your legs just feel really heavy. And Harrison, for me, he just looked burnt out. He really did. He wasn't himself. It wasn't his game. He wasn't effective. And I thought if you bring Danjuma on one of the wings, he'll run past players. And I don't think Fulham would handle Danjuma. And then literally I tweeted that. Dyche brings Beto on. Then later on, he brings Danjuma on. And then it makes me feel like I'm so clever because Danjuma is the threat down the left-hand side, like you've just shown. Really good run by Danjuma as well. Not like a predictable run, head down, in trouble, in the danger zone. And a good goal by Beto as well. Maybe a goal that Calvert-Lewin wouldn't have scored. And Beto, he's got to surely, Paul, he's got to be asking questions to Dyche like, why am I not starting now? Because he's scoring, isn't he? He's doing the job.
Well, he scored his first 3 goals for us have been off the bench. So
yeah, I think you've got to keep his confidence up as well, haven't you? Because Beto was getting a lot of stick. I remember when he missed 2 headers and everyone was saying he was Niassi because he played well in the Doncaster game and scored. But then when he played the next game, he missed 2 headers. Might have been against Arsenal or someone. I just remember him missing 2 headers and everyone saying we've got a flop striker. And then Beto's had to prove himself. He was itching for a goal. He got his goal. And then he got another goal. So surely he's asking questions to start. Yeah. Surely if Dyche form players can play.
Yeah, I mean, dare I say it, Dan, but there are some fans who are quite reactive to what happens. So Onana was the best thing since sliced bread 2 games ago. And the same people who are saying that are saying get him out of the club, which is absolutely...
I went on a space last night and everyone knows I love Onana. And I went on a space where Onana was getting slaughtered. But I took it. I did, yeah. There was like, Dan, you like Onana. What do you think? I was like, oh my days, because he was getting slaughtered. But I had to be myself. I didn't just go along with what I thought, what they thought. I had to be myself. I'm sure Onana will get talked about. One thing I will say, though, and you've just said fans reactionary, Onana wasn't having a bad game. I mean, what we've just gone through so far, I don't think Onana was a problem. Do you, Paul?
No. I mean, look, passing wasn't great. You could tell there was a bit of a spark lost in this game compared to the last compared to the last 4 league games. I do think there was a bit of tiredness, particularly that last 15 minutes, in particular as a whole side, because Branthwaite looked out on his legs as well. To be honest, it's hard to have the same people.
He agrees.
Or most of the same people every week putting in the performances and the effort that they have been putting in, no matter how fit you are, you know. And
that's why I think Calvert-Lewin's been. We play a lot of long balls to Calvert-Lewin and stuff, and he has to work hard. That's why I just think give him a break sometimes. I mean, Darren's just said there, Dyche needs to start better. Dom is like a lost sheep. There was a moment where there was doubts for that Burnley game because Dyche said Calvert-Lewin's got a bit of a strain. He's in doubt whether he'll play. So he's kind of playing with a bit of a niggle. And I just feel, what's the point in having Beto if you're not going to just let Calvert-Lewin have his little rest? You want Calvert-Lewin at 100%. And he looked shattered this game. They say he was the lost sheep, but I just generally think he was trying, but it wasn't there. You could see he was puffing and panting, and he knew it wasn't there because normally when Calvert-Lewin goes to hold the ball up, he can. This game, everything was coming back. He couldn't hold nothing up and nothing was going right. So I just think it just wasn't his day. I could see him. I could see in his face. He's like, do you know when you got your head down and you're like, when they're playing balls to him, and even his runs, there was a chance where they knocked the ball through to Calvert-Lewin and he's run left and the ball went right. It went the opposite direction and it just wasn't on key. And that's what happens when you're just not having your day and you're shattered as a striker. I'd start Beto versus Spurs.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Most sides do have their 2 strikers. If we had both of them out, do you know what I mean? We're We're struggling for a striker then, I would have thought. But you can rotate Beto to do the hour or the 70 minutes and then bring on DCL after that. And vice versa. And that's maybe what they should do is swap it around a few times, to be fair.
Comments are cracking. Keep your comments coming as well. Me and Paul are putting them on the screen, and it's good because it feels like we've got about 8 people on the channel here. It's good to get your comments on the screen. We are trying to interact with you because we know a lot will need this tonight. Yeah. We need to get stuff off our chest and say what we think, and that's the reason we've done the show.
Yeah. After the equaliser, it went into basketball mode, didn't it? And they were down our end. We got blocks.
I didn't know what I wanted, Paul.
There was a few moments that was shouting like that.
I was like, I didn't know whether I wanted to attack or I wanted to make sure they don't score against us, because there was a moment where we all went up and tried to attack on a set piece, and then all of a sudden they tried to counter us, and I thought, oh my God, we're going to so regret trying to score and not taking this to penalties if they counter it. I was scared, but then I didn't want penalties either. So this was a game that made me feel sick in so many ways, especially in this extra time when 7 minutes went up.
Yeah, there was one moment Fulham came down our left hand side, managed to get across, and thank God for Patterson was back. But it was one of those little, he's going to get the ball like 3 yards away from the goal line, and there's a guy behind him, and like you're looking and you're thinking, no, don't, and he just sort of turned and looked at the last moment and just cleared it. But it was like that. It was like that going in the last few minutes. This one's chance where it's actually lobbed in. Beto's offside here, by the way. So even if
Danjuma had a chance as well, I forgot about that. You got that one?
Yeah, this is it. Yeah. So
here we go.
When it drops down, Beto's offside. So I don't think it would have been given if it did fly in. But then there's Danjuma, right foot, and it's just inches past the post. Would have been a cracking goal as well, like. But
it's a good effort. That's why I think Danjuma should play. Like you just said, you're right, Paul. Beto was offside, so it probably wouldn't have counted, but it just shows like a lot more intention to score than what we had the first half. I honestly feel if you had that Beto Danjuma combination the first half, I don't think that we would have lost this game. Do you know what frustrates me though, Paul? Like that first half, they didn't look a threat. You put their chance up that goal that they scored was a bit of a fluke. And they didn't look like a threat. And we had good 3-4 chances. They didn't look like a threat at all. And we ended up 1-0 down first half. And they didn't look like a threat. And that frustrated me, that did, because it felt like the first game. It kind of did feel like the first game where we had a lot of chances first half. And we paid for it. And that's what happened that first half. Branthwaite had his chance. McNeil had his chance. And then all of a sudden, they put a cross in, and Keane knocks it in own goal. And they didn't have to do anything to get a goal other than whip a crossing.
No. And they sort of they put pressure on us, and there was some chances. I've not obviously got them all on here. There was one where they had a short corner. They knock it to Iwobi on the edge of the box. He sort of side foots it with power first time. Pickford wasn't quite happy that he had that shot. I think he gave him a little look as well. So they did worry us, and they did put pressure on. And stat wise, it was fairly even. Possession was 50-50. Yeah, we had more attempts, but we had 2 that were on target. They had 1. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't a great game. I think someone said it earlier on. It wasn't a great game to actually watch if you're neutral. It was just painful and anxiety if you were an Everton fan.
I think when we had the Fulham fan on, I was thinking this, Paul, when we had the Fulham fan on, I said to Russ, I think it's going to be a game where both teams are scared because it's a cup game and no one really plays well. And I feel it was. I said it'll be 0-0 first half because both teams will be scared of the cup tie first half. And it took a deflected goal for a goal to go in first half late. It was a game where I'm sure Fulham would say they didn't play well first half. And I think Everton, we didn't play well first half. It wasn't end to end. This wasn't a pretty game, was it? It was just both teams trying to play, and they wasn't playing well, in my opinion.
Yeah. There was, I know what the Blues is on about. We had some decent bits of triangle passes. There was one where Nana's fed He worked with Harrison, then he
You
fed the
seen that
ball
one?
out to Patterson on the right hand side. I know, yeah, he does. Oh, dear.
Michael Keane definitely needs a Balotelli.
When
Why
does he
wasn't
reveal it, though? Does he reveal it when he scores an own goal? Do you know what I mean? It could be any time.
Someone tweeted, when Keane decides to finish with Everton, he's going to go into the Championship and play a striker, and he's going to literally be the top goal scorer in the Championship. I've seen someone tweet that, and I don't think they're wrong. I really don't think they're wrong, because if Keane was a striker, Dyche won't make the move, but if Keane was a striker, he'd be like Harry Kane. He'd bag goals all the time because he's got a cracking strike on him. He really has. Go on, Paul. Fire away.
I was just going to say, that Onana plays Patterson into perfect position to cross it first time, which he does. And Beto was in the right spaces. He just couldn't get his foot on the ball. On another day. It's one of those, isn't it? We then get to the penalties. We do get to the penalties, wherever you are. Where have you gone? Holy!
Again. Sorry, people.
Here we go. It's just being temperamental, I think. Or not. Oh, there we go. I think a couple of them have just decided we're not going to show you. It's that.
Yeah,
it's
that
that
doesn't
bad.
want to rub it in, does it?
You know what, though? I mean, Onana was the what? Was he the? He was the fifth, and then Garner Gay was the.
I did do one thing.
Eight.
Yeah, look, I did do one thing. You've done everything for the Toffee Blue Cash show tonight. Fair play. Well, I did just do this because I knew the conversation would come about penalties. I haven't got where the penalties went because we can't show the videos. We'd love to show you the videos on the channel, but that is the order that they went in, if you know what I mean. I don't know if that helps you with anything there.
Yeah, it does. It does. Decent penalties. I mean, as well. I mean, everyone. What was funny was, well, say funny. When Onana misses. No, when was it? When Onana misses his, and then our next one is Tarkovsky. You couldn't have had two polar opposites, really, could you? You know.
Do you know what though, Paul? I actually said to Chloe whilst we're watching it, she goes, "Who do you think is going to score and miss?" I said to her, "I goes, Onana will miss because he's. I know our fans would grill him if he missed, and I just feel he's not the best striker of the ball when he shoots." I said Garner Gay would miss, and I said Patterson would miss. Patterson didn't get one, but I was right on my two players that I thought was going to miss, and I don't like that I was right. I went on a space after, and I'll tell you some conversations. Conversations was Onana deliberately put himself fifth because he's such a cocky player that he wanted the glory of winning the game by putting himself as the fifth penalty taker. Then this lad said to me, which I couldn't believe this one. By the way, Onana is getting loads of stick. Onana missed a penalty for Everton after everybody liking him now. And I've seen some people say they never want to see him in an Everton shirt again because he missed a penalty. Onana is getting a lot of stick, which for me, I think we should be angry he missed, but I think we're going way overboard on some of the stuff. Some one conversation, Paul, was if he was in a Belgium shirt, he wouldn't have missed that penalty. He would have tried harder. These are the stuff that I got last night. If he was in a Belgium shirt, he would have scored that penalty. But because he was for Everton, he wasn't that bothered about it. He'd do it for Belgium, but he don't care about Everton. And I've had some little tiffs today, and like someone said he don't care and stuff like that. And I said he won't be bothered. He won't even care that he missed that penalty. And I don't believe that Onana wouldn't care that he missed that penalty. A footballer does not want to miss. And they said because he's cocky, he won't care. When you're cocky, Paul, you care even more because you want to be the man, don't you? That's the thing. Yeah. If you are cocky, which I don't think Onana is, I think a lot of people have got that guy wrong. I don't think he's as confident as he comes across. I think he tries to act cocky to put on a persona to not show that he's weak. But I don't think... I watched him in that penalty shootout. If you look at all the players that they've got in the line on the penalty shootout, Onana's the one person that looks scared for me. I think he is. I think he's the one person that you can tell by his face. He's watching everything and he's a bit scared of this penalty shootout. but people are jumping on him. People want him gone and stuff like that now. What do you think in the comments on this? Because you all would have seen it. It was the worst penalty in the world, by the way. I'm not going to deny that. I am angry with the penalty. I'm not denying that.
Yeah. I think Darren's spot on. It's the way he took it. No one's having a go at Garnagay. They know he's crap at shooting. So no one's having a go at him at all.
I spoke to you, Paul. How angry are you with this?
It was the way.
How angry are you? I haven't spoken to you, Paul. How angry are you with this?
Oh, how angry? I thought you were angry with me. Yeah, I just thought, here we go again. That's what I thought. But I always thought
our fans are going to kill him if he misses. That's what I was thinking. I honestly generally thought this is the penalty to win, and it's the player that I don't want to have it, because I know a lot of people have said they didn't like Onana, and now they've just started to warm to him. I thought, but they've still got that volcano inside of them where they've got all that hate for them thinking he's cocky. And I thought if Onana misses this penalty, he's going to get destroyed. And he did, as you can see there. I mean, he had his penalty. Where is it? Dan, so let's just quickly go through the penalties. Beto had his. I thought Beto's was class. What did you think of Beto's, Paul?
Yeah, solid. I didn't actually have any doubts with Beto, to be honest. I don't know why that was. It feels weird, but I didn't feel any. I actually didn't feel any doubts until Keane stepped up, and then I thought, oh God. And then he.
So Pierre had his after Beto. I knew Pierre would score. You probably thought that as well, didn't you, Paul? Pierre?
Yeah,
he's a good penalty taker. McNeil, what did you think on McNeil?
Yeah, solid. I didn't have any doubts about McNeil, to be fair.
No, really good penalty there. I was a bit worried for him because he's good, but you think it's just going to be the one time that he isn't. I don't know who had that one after McNeil. Sorry, I can't see it.
Yeah, Tom Kearney for them.
Yeah.
Standard.
Good penalty by him. Michael Keane. This is the topic. Michael Keane, what did you think of his?
Yeah, I mean, it's either going top bin or top row. It's going to be one of those, isn't it?
He's got some bollocks though, hasn't he, Michael Keane? I know he scores his own goals, but that penalty was like, I think David Beckham would have been proud of that, wouldn't he? That was a rocket top corner. That was Michael Keane.
I mean, look, with Fulham's, I've got a few more of the pictures on here, so just let us let us swap that over. So that's yeah, sorry, yeah, I got it. So there's Keane smacking it. I mean, Leno's gone the right way and all. So it literally does go in the top corner. As you can't argue with that. It's a fantastic penalty. It's like Shearer-esque. Their penalties. Anyone who's having a sort of a moan at Pickford, I mean, keepers really have got no chance. If they get a hand on it, it looks as though they should have saved it. And Pickford was a bit like that down to his left hand side.
There's all singing you've got small arms on this one.
Oh, God.
I've seen the videos of the other fans singing you've got small arms. I think Pickford would be angry that he didn't save that though, Paul.
Oh, he's angry all the time though.
Yeah, he's angry all the time. But I honestly do think that Pickford could have saved that. I think if you can get your hands to it, it's seconds into it. One more second in that direction, he probably gets a bit more of a finger on it. And
yeah, he will himself. He'll be like that himself. But I think keeper's domain, right? And there might be keepers, people who played in goal listening to this, and I used to when I was a kid. But I always thought that the width, like sort of the arm span that you've got, another meter of that either side of that's your domain. Do you know what I mean? If it's going further than that, then and you save it, that's exceptional. That's unbelievable save. But anywhere in that kind of area, then you should be saving it. So the thing is, Pickford actually followed the ball quite a lot of the time. I thought he did well. And there was, because he's got his hand to it, he's going to say that he should have saved it. But we're talking fingers. Apart from the last one, we're talking fingers.
Well,
I mean, he saved this one.
Caswell just said the fingers as well. Their penalties was proper bottom corner. If their penalties was just a little bit not perfect in the bottom corner, Pickford saves it. That's one thing you will say. When you do watch it, you think Pickford should save it because he got his hand to it. But if the penalty wasn't so good, he would have saved it, if you know what I mean. There was proper bottom corner. Want to pull their penalties, like Caswell's just said. Penalties was really good.
Yeah.
Their penalties was really good.
Yeah.
There was
Well,
bottom corner.
he does his own work. Did you see him with his water bottle in the towel, in the towel, so no
He
one could
thought
see it?
he was cocky. This one, the commentators were saying that as well. Pickford's being a bit cocky. The commentators was laughing at him on one of the streams. If you actually watch the highlights on a Fulham stream, the commentators saying, "Oh, that serves Pickford right." That's what they're saying. That serves him right and stuff like that for trying to wind up the players. But that's what they do. They do try and wind up the players.
I tell you what.
You said we was all right in this penalty shootout, Paul. When I said to you, "Do you think we'd be all right in the penalty shootout?" You said, "Yeah, we'd be all right because this Pickford was good for England in the penalty shootout." And I thought he was going to be our hero here. I really did because he looked like he was ready for it, didn't he?
He saved one of them, and he was close to the other ones. We didn't put them all in the net. That was, that's
what Chloe said to me, though, Paul. Chloe said to me, she said, because she watched it with me, and she said, Pickford has done exactly the same as what he did for England. With England, he gave England the opportunity to win on the penalty shootout, and England missed after he saved one for them to win. And with Everton, she said he saved one to give Everton the chance to win, and we missed and didn't take the chance to win. So as a goalkeeper, you would say that Pickford did more than enough because he gave Onana the chance where if he scores, we win. A goalkeeper can't do no more than that, can he? So I can't really knock Pickford there.
It's not a chance. It's generally not on the keeper, to be honest. It's not on the keeper. It's their time to shine, and he did a decent job. I like him being a bit of a maniac. Every other team in the league would love to have him as their keeper, to be honest. He's one of them players that I understand why opposition teams don't like him, but I love him. I think he's fantastic. This is the bit that you should have blocked out in your dreams.
Pirlo penalty.
So this, I've got a bit of a problem with this type of penalty.
I've seen this penalty 150 times because people are putting it on repeat 100 times on Twitter, and I can't get it off my timeline.
No, it's frustrating.
I've never seen it so much.
Well, Pickford against Jorginho in the Euro final. It's that kind of. Jorginho had been doing this penalty very successfully for a long time. It's because he watches the keeper, and I mean the absolute last moment, is when he decides where to put it. He barely looks at the ball. And the thing is, this is at the point where Onana has done his little jink and he's done his little hop, and then he comes down onto the ground, and Leno's right in the centre. He's right in the centre. So if you're good at this kind of penalty, if you're good at this kind of penalty, and Dyche said, that's his style of penalty, then it should be going into the corners. You've got to be confident doing that. And I know it's a one-off, and I've not got massive things against Onana at all. I'm just saying this style of penalty, you've got to have it spot on. Otherwise, you look like a knob, don't you? And that's exactly where it was.
Do you know what, though? I actually think that if that was a penalty he had to score, I think he smashes it. Do you know if, say, you've got to score or you're out, I think he just goes and puts his foot for it. But because he knows it's a penalty where we've got the advantage and we can actually win, I think he tries to be a bit fancy with it. And you can see he's waiting for the keeper to go left. And if the keeper does go left, even though that penalty barely reaches the goal, it probably still does go in because he's trying to do the keeper with his eyes, isn't he? And send the keeper. He's done it so bad. Oh, my days, Onana. What are you doing to me? I've been bigging you up all season, helping you. And you put yourself in a bit of a bucket here again, honey. But I don't know what he did there, Paul. I can't protect him on that penalty, but I can protect him to say he's not a finished player for Everton because his penalty doesn't define his performance. Do you know, they said they train for penalty shootouts, Paul.
Yeah.
If this is how he's trained for penalty shootouts, why have Dyche not said to him, I don't want you doing that?
Because he might have actually done a decent job in training. You don't know, do you?
I don't know. I
don't know.
I did hear a bit of inside information. I remember watching on the interviews earlier on. They asked one of the backup goalkeepers who's the hardest person to save shots against, and he said Onana because you don't know where he's going to put it. So
Well,
part of me did think that he was going to be good at penalties when he took this, but he really
yeah.
wasn't.
I
No.
think, I
But we're
mean,
not
it
out, we're
might have
not
been,
out here, Paul. We're not out here. We're still in.
yeah, I know.
We're
I
not
mean, I
out.
love this. Watch that. You kind of watch that run up and that penalty. And then you watch that. I actually can't get the moment where the ball is from here, like from the spot to the goal line. I would have liked to try and like get it spot on in between, but I couldn't. It was that fast. So he's absolutely just smashed it, roof of the net. Leno's got no chance. Even if Leno had been stood up, I don't think he'd have a chance either because it was just it's so hard.
No, yes. Everyone's thinking, and you're thinking, and people in the comments, we can see your comments, the Blues, Emma, FC. We're all thinking, why was Tarkowski not before Onana when he smashes us in, ain't we? Because we know
Oh,
if that this is the penalty that you wanted to be your fifth penalty. You want just put your. I always believe if you smash it and it's on target, the keeper's got a very big job to keep it out of his goal. Because sometimes even if he gets his hands on it with power, he palms it into his goal. If you get your foot through it, I hate slow penalties. I get when you smash them, you can hit them over or hit them wide. But what are you, Paul? You a place or you a power?
I used to, I used to take penalties for the team that I was in, and I'd always go first in the penalty shootout. I was always first. I had a time of I'm a lefty, so I would curl it towards the keeper's right, but I'd look the other way first, bit of eyes, and then I had a time of doing a bit of a kind of a Baines thing where he went to the keeper's left, low down. But I never did like a Panenka or one like Anana did. To be honest, don't think
See
I
the
ever
way
saw.
the way
Actually, I don't think I
I'm
ever
I'm
saw.
like
I don't
you.
think I ever saw one where like the Anana type one when I was playing. It shows
No,
you how
no
old
one
I
would
am.
take a penalty like that. Like Emma's just said, it was like she obviously still hurt. Let's just get it out of her. Like a 5-year-old's penalty. I actually think a 5-year-old's penalty would have been more powerful than that one. But I'm the same as you, Paul. I'm side of the foot, curl it, just look just outside of the post, and it kills in last
Yeah,
minute. I like a little bend penalty, and I put it nice and high. But I do hit it with a lot of power with my left foot. A lot of
yeah,
power. Like it's not a
and that
laze,
was
but a curl power. Really, like you can't hit them slow. You've got to put power on them.
yeah.
Bananas was bad.
That's the difference I think between our ones. Well, it's the Nana one that sticks out, isn't it? And the Fulham ones. Yeah, the low down. Yeah, they might have been predicted by Pickford, but they were strong enough and in the corner, so not a lot he could do about it. This goes just past his hand. Then
It
we've
just
got
frustrates you though, Paul, because you think because he. This is what Chloe said as well. Because he's gone the right way every time, you just think that he saved it, don't you? You without
doesn't mean you
quicker
save
penalty
it. I
is.
know,
No, I'm not
no.
saying he should save it. I'm saying that you think he's going to. Like you can't see canyons like whether it's gone in or not until 2 seconds after. So when you see him go the right way in your heart when you're watching the penalty shootout, you're like, yes, he's done it. You because it looks like he saved it, but then you see it's gone in the inside of the net, and you're like, oh bloody hell.
It's just the frustration, isn't it? It's
It
just the
is.
frustration. Yeah, that goes past Pickford. This is gonna get hit the
Did you
post.
think
Keeper's gone the
Gallagher was
right
going to
way as
score?
well, but
Yeah.
we're talking that's the eighth penalty. You know,
I would have had Pickford. I
out
would
of
have had
11.
Pickford take one.
Oh, I
I
would
would have
have.
had Pickford take one
I
over
would
that.
have had Pickford in the first five, to be honest.
Yeah, I would have had Pickford take one because he's obviously the goalkeeper. He's got the confidence, and I 100% with his goal kicking. If he can pinpoint someone from 100 yards, Pickford would have put one top corner. And I don't know why Pickford didn't take one. One other thing. Now we're coming to the end after Garnagay hitting the post there. That could have gone in though. It hit the post. It was a bit unlucky because you just shown the
Yeah,
one before Paul. It was just the inside of the post where his hits the post. So you look, there's not much difference.
no.
If his goes in and doesn't hit the post there, you'd say it was a fantastic penalty posted in. So I'm not going to go at Garnagay that much. Some are saying he didn't hit the target, but when you hit the post, you can't get any closer.
Of
Um,
all, I was just going to say of all of them, that was the one that Pickford would say himself that he got
we're
into
coming to
that
an end then.
area. It was a little bit closer inside the post, a little bit closer to Pickford that last one, but we're still not having a go at him. It's just hard work, isn't it? It's just hard work. But that's where we got to.
Right.
And we'll,
this is the end.
leave it
We'll
where
have a
it is.
little positive finish now. We're at an hour. We've gone quite far, but Paul put together all that. That's why he's a bit late on the channel. Fantastic, because that was a good. It was good, like analyze of the game that was, and you have to just go through it and put it behind you.
Therapy.
Yeah, therapy, and that's what the Toffee Bluecast does. We've all gone through it. It is football at the end of the day. Someone has to lose, don't they? And especially a penalty shootout. Someone has to lose. You can't expect to win every penalty shootout. We've even seen Ronaldo miss penalties. We've seen Messi miss penalties. We've seen the best players miss penalties. It does happen. Even with Onana, we say his penalty was shit, which it was. It was like a 5 yards penalty, but 38,000. You look at that stadium. When you actually watch the penalty shootout, because everyone put the clips up, the stadium's full. Yeah, I bet your legs do tighten up, Paul, in a 38,000. I bet you it's not as easy as it looks. I know the other Keane took good penalty here, but it's scary when you're at the end. I bet you it was scary.
Don't be too harsh. Don't be too harsh on any of the players. They're doing a cracking job for us. They really are. And you can't
That's
go
what I was just going to say.
Yeah, you can't go from winning 4 games on the bounce with clean sheets in each game to losing on penalties against a Premier League side who have already beaten us this season, and then suddenly have a massive go at people. It's insane to do that. And this period now over Christmas, where we've got 1 or 2 people who are a little bit injured and stuff like that, and we lose the core for a little bit. This is going to be a hard period of games because we've not got a massive squad, and you're playing every 3 days, basically, aren't you? You know, and there's some tough games. Spurs away. We've got City at home. Wolves is away. Is Wolves away? I think. So, you know, the lads are doing a great job considering where we've come from at the start of the season.
It hurts. Trust me. I know how much of a good opportunity that cup was. It hurts, but we don't need to overdo it. We don't need to start turning on the players, and we don't need to act like everything's going wrong. The same players have won 4 games in a row when we was at the bottom of the league at one point. There was one game where we was ready to play ours and we were sitting bottom of the table. After sitting bottom of the table, Everton went and won 4 games in a row, and they got themselves in a good situation now. Like Paul just said, we have got injuries now, and this is a time where they need the fan support more than ever because there's a lot of injuries and the players' confidence will be low. Don't worry, Onana will be down. Players will be down after that penalty shootout, and it's going to take us fans to lift them back up. We've seen what they're like when they're not confident, and these players. It's took us so long to lift their confidence. Don't turn on them and put them back to square one just because we lost in a cup game. We've got to stay behind them, I think, because
take it in. I was going to say
too much in it, Paul. Some of the stuff on Twitter, it's too much. Everton fans are way too angry. It hurts. The game does, but don't turn on a team that's won 4 games and got 4 clean sheets in the last 4 Premier League games. Don't do that.
No, if you're going nuts over just one, like Emma says, one kick of a ball, widen your perspective. You know, go back to the game as a whole. We weren't great, but we had some good chances. Most people played decent. We were unstuck by an own goal. Then spread out then to the last 5 games, including last night as well. You know, we've won 4 of them. We've actually won every game so far in December by yesterday and not conceded a goal. And looking at the teams that we played as well, who would have said that would have happened without conceding a goal? I don't think maybe many people would have said that, to be fair. So just got to take it in perspective and widen it a little bit, you know. And then when you look at the whole season, going back to the first few games, we're a million miles away from what we were, I think.
He cursed it. He cursed it. He did. Mr. Rob. Mr. Rob on the shows. Yes, you did say it, and then I tweeted
Rob
it.
did say that.
It felt like, Rob, the moment you said that on the channel, it was always going to happen. I wasn't even thinking about penalties till you mentioned it, Rob.
Now, the thing is, don't jump on Rob. It was just one prediction. Widen your perspective. He's made many predictions.
I said, it's good. It's Rob's fault. It's Rob's fault. I didn't think about it, but I said to everyone, So let's see who gets the predictions right. If Rob wouldn't have put in the predictions penalties, it wouldn't have happened. Because Rob's lucky on his frigging bets as well. So the moment he put that, I thought he knows his stuff. He knows his stuff. Oh my days, Rob. Penalty shootout. What did you take us there for?
I'm not saying that we won't win every game over Christmas either, Emma. It just might be a little bit more difficult.
5-5, baby. We could be back. We're all sad now, but I just want the Spurs game to come. And if we beat Spurs, we're all going to be saying we're back, baby. And five wins in a row. 5 wins in a row in the Premier League if we beat Spurs. And we can beat Spurs, by the way. We have got... Well, I need to speak to Paul about it after, but we have got a Spurs fan that's going to come on the pre-matches. We're doing it. We're working hard to get an opposition fan on because you all keep telling us that you're really liking it to get an insight of the other team, and it gives a good feel. It gives like a good feeling before the game to have a fan clash. So we will work to get a Spurs fan on, and we'll keep doing what we can for you on Toffee Bluecast. It's brought you all together tonight. We hope we help you. Be positive. Stay positive. The cup hurt. It did. Yes, we should have had a little moan. Yes, we've already had it. Now we move on from it. We've won 4 in a row in the Premier League. If we don't stay behind these, they could decline and end up back in the relegation zone, and we could be in a relegation battle. If we get behind them, we could stay in the Premier League, and that's what we need to do. So let's just stay behind these players. It's important that we do that as fans. They need us now. They need us. They'll be hurt there. They wanted to win that cup. They said it. Some people will say they didn't want to win the cup, which is just thick as shit in my opinion. But they did want to win that cup. Of course they wanted to win that cup. Who wouldn't? What footballer doesn't want to win? Come on, seriously. Right, I'm going to drop the banner now. Thanks everyone for joining and sharing your comments all the way through. There's been loads of interaction. If you haven't liked and subscribed, please like the stream. Like it. Don't be lazy. Like the stream and subscribe because there's been plenty on. Up the fucking top is everyone, and we'll be back. See you later.
One.